Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day. It's another candle review day here on my channel, which means I am going to be sharing two different candle reviews. We're obviously kicking it off in this video here with the Kringle Country Candle Summer Cooler. And a little bit later on today, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the Voluspa Italian Bellini fragrance. So if you are not already subscribed and you are interested in more of my home fragrance related content, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button right below the video here. That way all of my new content will pop up in your subscription feed. So I am now just finally reaching the halfway point on this Country Candle Summer Cooler. I really wanted to burn these at least about a third to a halfway, to the halfway point, to be able to kind of gauge how these new wicks are performing. If you are not familiar with the Country Candle line, they recently went through a pretty big change where they went from a paraffin to a soy formulation. And with that came some issues that I think Kringle is still kind of sorting through when it comes to the changeover. Personally, I was really excited to see them get rid of paraffin. I have not enjoyed burning paraffin candles for years, and I just find soy to be a much cleaner burning candle formulation. So personally, I was really excited about the changeover, but I will say there have been some issues still. Mostly, I feel like in terms of the wicks, anytime that you change anything about the candle, whether it's the color of the wax or the concentration of the oils or the wicks, it can definitely change, obviously, the formulation overall, and that can really affect the burn. So figuring out kind of the happy point, I think, is where Kringle is at right now with the Country Candle line. And I think they kind of nailed it with these particular wicks. So Summer Cooler is from their limited edition Country Candle summer collection that they released several weeks ago. I did decide to purchase 3 from the collection. I will be reviewing all 3. But I just have to tell you, so far across the board with the 3 that I picked up, I'm having a really good experience with the wicks. So I think whatever they did here seems to be working. I'm obviously going to keep you guys updated on Saturdays in my weekly home fragrance roundup videos about how these continue to do as I go down further in the level of the wax. I don't intend on crocking any of these 3 candles because I really just want to burn them from start to finish. So like I said, definitely make sure you're subscribed, and I will be updating you in the weekly home fragrance roundup until all 3 of these are completed to the last drop. So the 3 fragrances that I picked up, it definitely leaned a little bit more fruity, and I'm not sure that I have a favorite. I feel like I'm kind of waffling between this Summer Cooler here and the Juicy Peach fragrance. The peach is really good, you guys. If you are at all interested in picking any of these candles or any other Kringle candles up, I'll go ahead and link the website in the description box. If you want to purchase anything from them, feel free to use my discount code Melanie15. That will save you 15% off of your purchase, whether you pick up, you know, this candle here from the summer collection or any other candle from any of their other collections. Now, if a candle is already kind of at a clearance price point, the 15% probably won't apply, but it should work with most of the sales. So you guys, let's dive into the fragrance description here. We'll talk strength and throw, and then we'll kind of get into the overall burn quality, which is what I think most people are probably going to be curious about. I have been burning this one in a few different locations, in both hurricanes and candle sleeves. And I will tell you guys what I have noticed in all of those kind of variations of burn, if you will. All right, summer cooler. Summer cooler bursts with sweet, fresh berries and juicy orange. Tangy, zesty notes coupled with sugary sweetness make for a cool layering of this frosty drink, perfect on a sunny, warm day. All right, your fragrance notes here are, they're pretty simple. The top notes are berries, that's it. The mid notes are orange, that's it. And then the base is zest and sugar. So this is a pretty, I would say, straightforward fragrance. I actually have a comparison for this one. I think this smells, if you are familiar with Scentsy and their wax melts, I think this one here smells very similar to Berry Bright. Berry Bright is actually one of my favorite Scentsy fragrances for summer. And I kind of had an inkling that this particular fragrance would have a similar vibe to it. And as soon as I received this one and stuck my nose in it, like I immediately was like, yep, this is basically another version of Berry Bright. So this comes across to my nose very much as a, I guess kind of, I don't want to say generic in a bad way, but it's a little bit of a generic kind of blue raspberry, almost cotton candy type fragrance. It is quite sweet. So I would say if you are someone who tends to experience very sweet fragrances as cloying to your nose, I'm not sure this is going to be the one for you because this is very, very sweet. The intensity of that berry note is, I don't know, I think it's kind of perfect. I don't think this is too much in any kind of way, but obviously I tend to favor sweeter gourmand fragrances, so this is right up my alley. But you do really get a really nice, like generic, I would say blue raspberry note. There is a definite like fresh squeezed orange juice note in here that you get from that mid note, and the base of the zest and the sugar. I mean, you could probably say maybe there's like some orange zest in here, but like nothing about this fragrance comes across as bitter in any kind of way. So the zest really isn't like predominant here. I think it's more so if you're talking about like the citrus portion, it's more of like that like sweet, fresh squeezed orange juice type note. But it's really the berries, that blue raspberry note specifically, that I think stands out the most here. Again, very sweet. When they say sugar, they mean sweet. So if you happen to like these blue raspberry, very sweet, sugary, essentially candy-like fragrances, this one is going to be right up your alley. I love it. And I'm also having a really great strength and throw experience with this one. If I were to put a number to it, I would say the strength of this one is kind of waffling between a 7 and an 8. Honestly, in the Hurricane, it's more of an 8. Just on its own, sitting on a candle pedestal, it's probably more of a 7. I do think that the Hurricanes and candle sleeves help, especially with the Kringle candles, both in their just, you know, regular Kringle candle format as well as country candle. I think it sort of helps to amp up the strength and throw to utilize those candle accessories, but I also don't think they're required. So yeah, strength between a 7 and an 8, definitely an adequate number for me in my house here. The throw I would probably put at more of just like a solid 7. Definitely a room filler, definitely spills outside of the room where I am burning it, regardless of the size of the room. And fills, I would say, about half of the downstairs of my house. You know, I certainly want to be mindful of what else I'm burning. For example, yesterday I had this lit near like the front of the house, and then I had Homeworks espresso martini towards the back. Terrible combination. Do not recommend burning those two together at all. They definitely met in the middle, and yeah, a delicious like summery sweet fruity berry with a like heavy coffee scent, not a great combo. So yeah, definitely gives enough throw to where I have to be careful with what else I'm burning. But as long as it's another fruity scent or even like a vanilla or something like that, it's fine. But yeah, do be mindful because the throw is fairly decent. And if you're burning, you know, a couple of candles at a time, maybe think about coordinating them. In terms of overall burn quality. All right, so let's discuss the wicks here because this is kind of what we were mostly, having issues with for the last couple of seasons here with Country Candle. These particular wicks, I do definitely trim them between each burn. And I trim, I would say, just the like top portion of the mushroom top that forms. These particular wicks get some mushroom tops, but they are not as large as some of the other ones that we've experienced. So you get a nice solid flame from this one. Man, those wicks are really dancing around. I have the air conditioning on right now, and it's definitely causing the wicks to go a little crazy, sorry. But I have burned this from anywhere from just 3 hours, which is typically what I do with the Country Candles. But yesterday I left this bad boy lit for 6 hours. And while after 6 hours, I definitely started noticing a little bit of discoloration around the top of the jar here. It's really not that bad. I mean, if you can see, for the most part, the glass still looks quite good. But there is a little bit of discoloration that I started noticing around the jar there. So 6 hours, I would say, is probably too much for this one. I also noticed that after 6 hours, it definitely reduced the color of the wax a little bit more as well. So you can kind of see that line of demarcation from yesterday's wax pool there. But I gotta tell you, I'm pretty impressed with how this did for the length of time that I burned it. Would I recommend burning them longer than 3 or 4 hours still? Probably not. You know, I'm pretty particular with how my candles perform these days because I'm trying to not, you know, add a ton of extra soot to my house. Listen, candle burning in general, you are going to eventually build up some level of soot in your house, but the amount definitely varies based on the number of candles that you're burning and how cleanly those candles are burning. I'm pretty pleased with how this particular one is doing. I don't have any complaints, and the wicks have been consistent across the 3 fragrances that I have. So the Summer Cooler, the Juicy Peach, and the, Blueberry Milkshake. All 3 of those are giving me the same performance in terms of the wicks. And honestly, they're performing pretty similarly in terms of strength and throw as well. So I think we have some positive changes here. Do I think they might still have to play with it? I don't know. It depends on how the other fragrances in the collection are doing, I suppose. I haven't seen too many reviews of a lot of the other fragrances. I feel like this particular collection, maybe a lot of people overlooked it. You know, I know for me, it wasn't one that I was crazy about, but I do really love these fruity fragrances from Kringle. And I'm much more apt to get them in the Country Candle line, I feel like, than I am to get them in the regular Kringle line. So, you know, there's that. I would love to see Kringle produce a lot more fruity and gourmand scents in the regular Kringle line as well. But it seems like they kind of reserve that for the Country Candle line for the most part. But anyway, you guys, I'm giving this one 2 big fat thumbs up. I am pleased with the fragrance overall. Like I said, it reminds me of Berry Bright from Scentsy. So if you're a fan there, I think you're gonna like this one. I am enjoying the overall performance, and I think that the quality of these wicks is pretty darn good. Do not trim them too short. I think just, you know, a regular style of trim would be fine with this, and I think you're gonna be good to go. So 2 thumbs up from me, and you will see my review of Juicy Peach and the Blueberry Milkshake hopefully in another few days here. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, check out the link in the description box on where to purchase Kringle. And I appreciate you guys being here. Subscribe if you're new, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in a few hours for my thoughts on the Voluspa Italian Bellini. Take care. Toodaloo.